It's Block Lounge Entertainment, and the time is right with T-Pre.
Well, what a motherfucking day in the goddamn house. I hope everybody is doing as great as I still am doing today. Shout out to Dr. Nikki Proctor-Walden. She says, to everyone who cares, I am good with T-Pre. Please let this go. Absolutely. And I thank you, Dr. Nikki, that we are good. We had a conversation. Her and I have a complete understanding of everything going on. And today I am going to drop this good old link for my brother Shakim. I am also going to drop the link for Breaking the Culture of Silence. You are welcome to come up here and tell me what you have said privately to me this afternoon and this evening. I also want to address a few things that you have said in regards to me and in regards to this situation, because there was a lot of stuff you said, sis. A lot of stuff, down to me being homeless, allegedly, me living in a hotel, allegedly. Yeah, you're going to get the opportunity to actually speak facts on that. And then we're going to speak facts as well. We're going to talk about how we got to this point, because that's what we just talked about privately. I do appreciate you calling me and actually having some integrity to give me a call, because, you know, after all, I can understand why you would want to, considering all the venom that you tried to throw at me. But we're going to go ahead and talk about it. In the meantime, I'm going to play you guys a nice little timer while I wait for Shakim to come to the panel. hope everybody is doing good this evening. Shout out to all 40 people that are in the clouds. I knew that this was probably going to be a pretty big live stream. I know that everybody eventually is going to go ahead and come on in and check this out. Make sure that while you are coming in, you hit that like button on the way in, okay, for this hot tea, because we're going to go ahead and give y'all the tea tonight. As those of you saw, that is on the right here on the screen. To everyone who cares, I am good with tea pre. Please let this go. I really appreciated Dr. Nikki saying that because me and her are fine. Okay. Sometimes you have to put a story into context with a person and get an understanding with someone. We were able to do that and we have moved on. So if there's anybody else that wants to talk about it, you are free to spin any narrative you choose to. But we're going to deal with the culprit of that situation today in this conversation. So before I do any other invites and say hellos, I'm going to go ahead and welcome Shakim to the show. I appreciate you, bro, for being in the building.
What's good? What's good? Yes, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem, bro. There was a lot of stuff and a lot of narratives that was spun today. And we're going to go ahead and debunk all of this. We're going to break down all of this shit. We're going to talk about all this shit. I do request that my moderators make this pretty Trump tight tonight. I am not in the mood for a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of talking shit. And of course, the trolls are not acceptable. Okay. Breaking the culture of silence. The link is in the chat for you as well. Because again, I literally had a conversation with you probably about an hour ago. And in that conversation, we came to an understanding of some things. And I'm going to need you to publicly say the things that you said privately, as you said you would. And I'm planning on holding you to the fire to do that. Because like you said, and like I said, none of this should have happened. Okay. And once I pin you down to an understanding of how this started, you got an understanding and you really understood where you went wrong with this. Okay. I'm not saying that everybody didn't have a part in some things, but ultimately speaking, this whole fallout and this whole bullshit and all these narratives you spun today are on you. And I appreciate you taking responsibility for that. And we're going to talk about that. So, before I do, though, I just want to say shout out to the beautiful Bernice for being in the building. You said, hey, T Pre in chat. And you said, hey to Dr. Nikki. Black Abe got his popcorn out. Karma 52 is in the building. I appreciate you. You said, hello, T Pre. Nikki, beautiful Bernice, and everyone. What's up? What you going to do about it? You said, Miss T Pre and Shakim, go in. And we plan on doing that. And you said, peace, chat. And you said, Karma 52, hello. And then, hey, Miss LB. You said, hello, everyone. Beautiful Bernice, Alan, Dr. Nikki, Queen T Pre, and Ra. And you said, what's up, Miss LB? You said, hey to Nikki. You said, hey, my opinion is in the building, of course. Joe, what's happening, Joe? One of my favorite loungers, as well as a moderator. Make sure y'all watch yourself around my Josephine. You said, hey, Alan. Hey, Nikki and Karma. You said, hey to Joe. You said, my opinion is here. Yes, my opinion is here. You said, hello, JoJo. You said, LB, you know me, darling, being nosy. Of course. You said, hey, Miss L. You said, peace, fans. What's happening, partners? I appreciate you being in the building. You said, hello, LB. You said, right on. You said, haha. You said, well, as long as you don't get thrown out of other chats like I did, you're good, my opinion. You said, Happy New Year's, everybody, 2023. Come on. What's happening, Mikey? And yes, Happy New Year. We are not taking a lot of things into 2023. And that's just that. You said, hey to Tiz. Interesting is in the building with popcorn. Watch yourself, interesting. You said, hey, T Pre. You said, LB ain't my business. And you said, hey, Queen Josephine, to the partners. What's happening, Miss Murphy? You said, Miss T Pre and Mods, is it okay for me to be? Absolutely. Girl, you know it's okay for you to be here. It's just like I said, we may have a difference of opinion and we may go back and forth and both of us have kind of this a strong personality. So that's just what that is. But Miss Murphy, I ain't got no beef with you at all. You good. You can say what you want. Okay? Okay, girl. Shout out to Miss Murph for being in the building, y'all. And interesting is saying, Miss Murph, they already tripping. See, listen, interesting. Let me explain something to you, okay? Tonight is not the night for you to be in here talking crazy, okay? Because you're probably going to get blocked. So I'm going to go ahead and give the moderators a chance to go ahead and time you out just so you understand, okay? And then after that, this was your final warning. And when they block you, if you say something stupid, that's your fault, okay? And you said, okay, just checking. No problem, sis. No problem. You good. You good. All right, listen, let's go ahead and get into this tea, bro. Because we was talking and we was chatting up, and this shit is fucking wild. Where you want to begin at? I guess we can start with where she began, right? Because and breaking the culture, I know you're listening. So and like I said, you're welcome to hit the link. I think now where this kind of started, okay? So, and I'm going to give some clarity to some things too. So, I did a video about the void, and I also talked about some things that I felt that Shakim was correct about. Okay. I did say those things publicly. And I did that for a reason. And I'm going to give full context to that in front of the public since everybody wants to be, dancing naked in front of everybody, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that. So what's happening, Defraud? And of course, it's a safe chat. What's happening with you, though? Yes, this is a safe space for all adults. That's right. All right. So what happened with that situation was Shakim and I were not talking, right? I think everybody knows that we had fallen out over the whole him going live and all that stuff. And, me caping for the whole situation and trying to help cape with this situation and all that shit, right? So I went live and talked about that, and I caught him on a platform because I wanted Shakim to get that I was taking responsibility for what he was saying, because I did bring him into a shout into the void, okay? Regardless of all the shit that now y'all know from me, how I feel about the situation, regardless of what Breaking the Culture is saying about the situation, Shakim was a casualty to the situation, okay? So I took my ownership in that, and I wanted to apologize to him publicly. And I also wanted to let him know I wanted to have a discussion with him so we can get to an understanding. I didn't lie to him, and I know, and as Breaking can even attest to, I didn't lie to him when I said there was some things you said that I agree with, and there's some things you said that were right, because what he said was right. Okay, we were not working on the podcast the way we should have. Things were not coming to fruition the way that Breaking the Culture had presented it to us on video, by the way. Okay. It's not like this stuff is stuff we're just making up off the top of our heads. And we're not just coming together to just talk shit about her. This is something that literally is happening with her. Okay. This is how this played out. I mean, you can stop me at any time, Shakim, and cut in and say if I'm making something up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, this is how things were presented. It did not work out that way. So I had to, after calming down and not being angry and not allowing my ego to be in the way of trying to protect my own feelings, right? Okay, so this is what we're going to do with the interesting one. All right, so we're not doing that no more with that person. All right, so anyway, and guys, I'll be to you guys in just a moment in the chat, but I think I really want to get all this stuff out. So here's the thing. When the situation happened with, that, I really wanted to make that clear to Shakim, because ultimately me and Shakim are really friends in real life. Okay. We're not just, like some people may be around here. You just talk to people on YouTube and that's it. We have a real friendship. Okay. And I think a lot of the sector knows that. These might not be things that everybody's aware of, but a lot of the sector is aware of the friendship that we have. So that public apology and stuff was for him and also for our friendship. And there's a lot of people in the sector that are aware of that. Okay. So that happened. And then he and I talked, and we talked privately. And we had even talked about possibly going live and doing this big old, show of what happened. And it wasn't necessary, right?
Right.
It wasn't necessary for us to do that. We really did not want to go and disparage Breaking the Culture's name. We did not want to go out here talking about the void and all that stuff. We didn't want to do any of that shit. So we decided we weren't going to do that. We said, you know what? If we decide we're going to talk about it, we'll talk about it with our members, and it'll be very brief, and then we'll be done with it. And that's what I did. I don't know if you even did that or not.
No, I never did it because I felt like at that point I had already said my piece when I went live way back in the day, and I didn't want to like re-drum up the situation 7 months later, and we had to understand it. So I was at peace with the situation.
Exactly. And that's kind of how I felt with it. So, I just wanted to move on. I really didn't want to keep drilling and, drilling this and everything else. So fast forward a little bit, guys. I ended up having a conversation with Breaking the Culture probably a couple days later, within a couple of days of this. Okay. You guys can kind of go by the dates on the live streams between mine and hers, and, and how this has gone. So we had a conversation, and we came to an understanding, and she can acknowledge this. We came to an understanding in that conversation of why I had this conversation with Shakim, right? And what we were talking about, and how we came to an understanding of these things. In that conversation, I also told Breaking the Culture about how I felt about, I think that she doxed me to AAS, not to me and mines, but to AAS. And I want to clear that up. I said she gave my aunt's address to AAS. The reason why I felt like that is because literally she is the only person in this sector that I've given that address to. I've never given that address to anyone. And I know me and mines didn't pull that up from some random thing, because otherwise the post office would have that as my address, right? That would mean, that would be my actual address. Me and mine's got that from Anti-Afro Svengali, okay? And if Anti got that, then where would she get that from? She only could have gotten that from somebody that gave that to her. That's how it looks. Now, whether she did it or not, I can't confirm that. But all I can tell you is how it looks. So I let her know that. Okay. And that was all in one conversation. We also came to an understanding in that conversation that she was getting packages to her house right after I left from New York. Okay. Well, from, I don't know where she at now. Anyway, that's what she was telling me. Okay. So her and I came to an understanding in that conversation that clearly there's somebody tinkering behind the scenes that is doxing addresses and getting information and exchanging that information with other people. Now, I can't confirm or deny whether it's her that was involved in putting out my aunt's address or not. But I can tell her that she's the only person that would give that out, because she's the only person I gave that to. Literally. Okay, that's just what it is. I remember saying something similar to that. But I never told that, Breaking the Culture was out here doing all this stuff to me and any of this shit. But we came to an understanding of what happened with those packages and what happened with that address. We also came to an understanding of what happened with Alan Logic and him talking about her on these race scales, okay? She understood by the end of that conversation that I don't feel bad about being in somebody's chat room just because, I support that content creator. It has nothing to do with, I agree with every single thing that they say. I'm sure y'all don't agree with every single thing I say, but y'all tune in when I go live and y'all enjoy the content. And that's just what it is. It has nothing to do with anybody personally or anything. Once I explained that and we had that understanding, that's the understanding I thought we had. So let me know so far what y'all would feel if someone decides to go live, which she did, with Stargate of all people, right? Of all people who are looking for beefs and drama with all the women in the sector and has been doing this for months and years now, okay? You would decide to go live with this woman and ask these questions about the void and about me as if you did not have a private conversation with me about these very same topics. And we had what appeared to be a very clear understanding with each other about those topics. That was where breaking the culture fucked up. Because for some reason, her impression of me telling Shakim, I apologize for what happened. There's some things you said that were correct, somehow turned into me disparaging her name and making her look bad. I didn't make her look bad. I took responsibility for what happened because me and Shakim are friends. And that's what you do when you are an adult. Is that wrong? Or am I wrong so far? Anybody? Shakim, you can chime in.
Yeah, I think that's, I just was reading something about how conflict is not a deal breaker in friendships or relationships. Like you actually grow in your relationships when you have conflicts and when you overcome those conflicts. So that's absolutely correct. I don't think she took it the way you were expressing it, and maybe that's where there's a little bit of like disconnect because you and me having our issue and then you apologizing for what how you played a role is not a shot at her in any way, but maybe that's how she took it.
That's exactly how she took it. But that's not my responsibility to make her feel better about that. You understand what I'm saying? Like you can't take every single situation and make everything about you. And this is what I've told her several times. Okay? Which is brings me to this conversation over what she claimed, I was saying about Nikki, right? Let's go ahead and get some context to that conversation. Because yes, I did talk to her about, this whole situation. And I told Nikki about that. And the reason why I said those things to her, and I'm going to say it publicly since Breaking the Culture wants everything to be public and we're going to talk to the sector and get the validation of the sector, right? Here's the thing. Every time I turn around, you are complaining to me about what Nikki is doing to you, how the women are treating you, how everybody does this to you. Everybody, you act like everybody is on some whole united front on this sector. The women and Shakim and other men and everybody else are on this united front to come at you. Sounds very Stargate-like. Am I right? Like, am I right, Shakim, so far?
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
sounds very Stargate-like. I get this constantly from you. And in the mix of me arguing with you, yes, I blurted out some shit I should not have said. I regret that. I admit it. But I did that in context of you constantly saying that all these women are coming for you, and they're not. I had to let you know that none of these people are on this united front together coming at you. There's even people that don't even get along that you are saying are coming for you. That is the full context of what I said. All this other stuff she's adding to this, y'all. Where is she getting this stuff from? I don't know where this stuff came from. All this stuff about Nikki being jealous of me and she owed women in the sector money. What the fuck is she talking about? And like I said, show that fucking receipt, please. Because none of that shit is true. See, all of this is from you feeling insecure about facts. These are actual facts. You literally spent the entire day on a mission trying to deflect from the facts, sis. The facts are you decided to go live with Stargate and air out what you wanted the sector to believe happened with a shout into the void. And that's not true. And I went live and told the truth. And you're just mad that I have somebody here that was there that can witness what I said. And that what I said is facts. Sometimes the truth motherfucking hurts. But I did not have any intentions of putting your motherfucking business out there. I never did. I never wanted to. You did this. So what is the problem, ma'am? Because even after you did all this shit, lied about my credentials at the bank and I'm homeless, living in a homeless shelter, and all this crazy shit you said, right? Tried to act like me and I'm talking shit about my friends behind the scenes and I'm doing all this stuff you did, right? Which, by the way, did nothing. After all that energy, I text you and told you I did not deserve any of that motherfucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck how you put it, what you say, how you say it. If I was wrong, if I was trying to be on some bullshit, you would have blocked me. You called me because you knew you was the fuck wrong, bitch. You are the one that created this situation. And we ain't got to lie about a motherfucking thing. This is what happened. I never said that we didn't go live every single time because of you. Yes, I had COVID twice this summer. I also had some things that I was dealing with my family that I was taking care of. Not homelessness, by the way. Far from that shit.
Oh, wow. She's posting your text right now. So I don't know if you want to get to that.
I don't give a fuck.
Go ahead.
She can post whatever she wants. But at the end of the motherfucking day, this is what she did. She wanted all this shit to be out in the public because somehow, some way, she wants y'all validation. And I never, ever disparaged this woman's name. I never did anything to disrespect her. I tried everything I could to help her. But some people you just can't help. At the end of the day, you went live with that Stargate shit. And then on top of that, you let this bitch try to attack me on your panel. Even though you're saying you lost service, quote unquote. Now you're saying that behind the scenes. But I mean, we can post text messages if that's what we got to do, because I have text messages as well. But I don't have to do that. You're looking for the validation. You need somebody to validate you. Not me. But what I don't appreciate is you acting like you are some victim in this situation. Nobody has victimized you. Nobody has done anything to you. I'm not out here talking shit about you, disparaging your name, talking trash about you. I can say a lot of shit. A lot of shit. But I'm not. Because everything I've heard about you might or might not be true. I don't know. I've heard you don't have your kids. I've heard you there's 2 kids you don't have. I've asked you about it. Haven't I? I've never pushed that narrative. Never. That's other people saying that. You told me you don't have 2 kids that you're not raising. You told me that you only have 2. I can only go by your word, right? Because I really don't know. Have I heard it? Yes. Does it sound believable? Yes. But again, that's not my story. That's your story. I'm not out here pushing that narrative. I've heard a lot of shit about you. And I'm not pushing none of them narratives. But I kindly and quietly walked away because this shit wasn't working out. It wasn't coming to fruition. The things that you promised us was not happening, sis. That is not my fault. And I don't know what you're talking about that you sent me all this equipment. Where the fuck is that? Like I said in the other video, you gave me a microphone. You offered me a mic. You offered Shakim one too. And according to Knockout Media, you offered him one too. And some other people out here too, allegedly. How is that my fault? And again, what other equipment have you given me? What have you done for me? And I heard now all of a sudden I'm responsible for that bill in New York. It done went from Photon to you. Now it's mine. Now it's me. Like, go ahead, bro. I'm gonna stop talking for a little bit. Let you say what some things you need to say.
Yes, I'm actually glad you brought up the New York thing because, like, it's funny that she was saying, like,
hold on one second. I got a Slim Pickens in here. Nikki is here, and she's a moderator, so I would watch yourself talking like that in the chat. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that Breaking the Culture was the one actually acting the goddamn nut that night with the restaurant that I had booked for us to go to. So that's part of it. Not only was it the fact that I was smoking a J, but she went in that motherfucker like, I'm breaking the culture and you don't treat my friends like this. And where's the manager? I want to speak to the manager. And the dude was like, no, ain't no manager.
Wait a minute. You got to say it right, though. You got to say it right. Let me do it for you. You ready? I want to speak to the manager. I want to speak to the manager right now. That's why they call me breaking the culture of silence, because we're not going to let this happen.
Yes,
you got to say it right, bro. That's how she said it.
Yeah, it's like she was like, nigga, they was ready to call the police.
Breaking the culture of silence.
Like she said it like she's well known, I guess, in these New York streets. I don't know. But that's why niggas was about to go to jail. It wasn't me not paying a bill that had people ready to call the police. So
yes,
that
see,
was.
Listen, let me explain. Let's put that in context, because breaking like to throw things off and put things halfway and out of context, just like AAS be doing, right? All the narratives, right? Yes, all the narratives. So listen, we were at two different restaurants that night, okay? There was one called the Blue something, the Blue Moon or some shit, right? And the other one was a restaurant that was like 2 doors down from this place, okay? So maybe a door or two down from this place. So we were sitting in the Blue place at first. We didn't have nothing. We ended up going to the next place because Photon was going to go live from his panel. And we were all going to sit on there with him for a second. And before we could do anything, Shakim did light up, I think it was a cigarette. I don't even think it was a joint. He lit up a cigarette. And the lady came flying out there. It was a waitress. She came out there and she was like, you can't be smoking out here or something. And she wasn't really bad about it. She was just like, kind of like a New York person would talk. Okay. Like, y'all from New York, y'all know how people are up there. Okay. So that's how she was. And so Shakim was like, oh, okay. He was very kind about it. He put it out, and Breaking the Culture was like, no, fuck that. And she just went off, right?
I remember, yeah.
And we were looking like, and I was like, yo. And then the lady went inside And then she comes back outside, breaking the culture, still going off and shit. And she was like, I want to speak to the manager. No, I'm fuck this, this, and this. And the lady just finally was like, I'm not getting no manager. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that serious. And finally she was like, y'all just got to leave. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, if y'all don't leave, I'm calling the cops. And that's when breaking really turned up to like 10. Okay. And that's when she went inside and she was demanding to speak to the manager. I walked outside because I'm not from New York. Okay. I wasn't about to listen. When that bitch said she calling the police, that's all I needed to hear. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna fuck outside. I ain't got shit to do with this. Ain't nobody can lock me up over
I'm with
something
you.
stupid like this. You
I'm
know what I'm
with you.
saying? Like, I ain't even got no time for this shit. So, but breaking the culture still going off and shit. And it was the manager finally outside with the woman trying to calm the manager. I'm trying to calm the waitress down because she was all worked up at this point. And then there was another person inside. He wasn't even a manager. He was just letting breaking the culture just talk. She didn't even know who she was talking to. She was so drunk. Okay. So, and she was drunk from earlier that day. It was me and her were drinking. We were drinking. We was lit, but I wasn't fucked up. Like I wasn't stumbling and all that shit. Girlfriend was stumbling. She was rubbing all homeboy. Am I lying?
No, when y'all got there, I was like, my mouth was on the floor because I was thinking you was gonna be the one that was fucked up, right? But
Right.
it was actually her, and she was live streaming. She was doing the most that day. Like we had to tell her, like when we was leaving, like I had asked her, I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, let me know when you get home." So I wasn't worried about you. I was worried about her because clearly, you know, the liquor was kicking in, right? So to give context to that night, I'm the one that booked that restaurant, and I had already paid for a bottle for everybody, and I had also ordered some appetizers, maybe like some wings or something. So we had to book the restaurant before we could just walk in that motherfucker. So when she started going off with the lady, the only thing I kept saying was like, okay, well, we'll leave. We don't got no problem leaving. I just want to make sure I get my money back because that was not a cheap restaurant. So after that situation, we went back to the Blue Moon place and we drank some more. So
Right.
niggas had been drinking for a good 3 hours.
Right.
You know, by that time we had left that place and went to the place next door.
Exactly. So I don't know where, she's getting all this other stuff from where, we was about to get locked up and all the cops never even showed up. Like I finally had to go in there and convince breaking the culture, like, yo, let's just leave. Why are you, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And she's just like, I don't care. They're not going to do this to us. We have rights. And I'm like, girl, I'm not from here. Like, I'm not about to go protesting my rights over a drink and a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even that serious. Like, we can just go back over here and chill, you know what I mean? And just let it go. She the one that wanted to be all drunk and going off on this woman, and she was still talking about it for like a whole hour after we got back to the other place. Like, it was crazy.
Yes, you would have thought like me and her was fucking or something. Like I was her nigga. Like it was so much energy for this woman. And I'm like, that's funny because I wasn't tripping. Like I wasn't even mad. I was like, okay, cool. Well, if y'all don't want us smoking, there's plenty of other places in New York to go. So I'm like, shit, let's go. But it was a big issue for her. But I really think she was just a little tipsy. And you know, sometimes when people get tipsy, they kind of overreact to situations that normally, if they were sober, it wouldn't bother them as much. So I really think that's just what it was. I think she was just a little tipsy, and it's cool, you know.
Right. But don't act like we were drunk and we came up in her. This is what she said. We came to her house and wrecked shop and we was out there doing this and doing all this. Like, what are you talking about, breaking? Like, I'm gonna need you to really reel this shit back in and come back to reality, because all of this stuff you're saying is not true. And all of this is to save face with a sector who's never heard me talk bad about you at all. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. While you out here trying to prove to the sector that, T Pre is lying about me. T Pre is no, she's lying. I didn't do anything to her. I did this, and this is what really happened, and this and that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I never disparage you to anyone. Like I said, I have been protecting you in these YouTube streets. I have been protecting your name. In protecting your name, I'm protecting my own. I don't want to be, this is embarrassing to be part of all this dumb fuck shit and all this stupid shit. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be running down in the sector, telling the sector everything. And hey, sector, guess what happened with, I'm not doing that. You did that. You did that. Not me. And when I pinned you down to that today in our private conversation, you agreed to that and you apologized. So I'm going to need you to be honest about that in public, because that was some real fuck shit that you did. I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve any of this. And like I said, in me having conversation with you to let you know that all these people are not the fuck against you. You tried to make that sound like I'm out here talking shit about this woman. And it ain't nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. So again, whose integrity is in question? Because if it wasn't for the fact, like I said, if you had just blocked me after I text you that today, I can have a little bit more respect. But it's the fact that you called and acknowledged what I'm saying. By phone and by text. Let's go ahead and talk about them since you want to post text. I text you and said, I never, ever doxed you. I would never do something like that. Believe what the fuck you want. But you are dead ass wrong. I never did anything to snake you. You created all of this. And for what? But it's all good. And me and Nikki are still cool. So I don't know what you thought was going to happen. But just know when that energy returns that I never deserved any of this. Always think before you move. This should have never happened. In that, you called. We talked for an extended period of time. We did a lot of yelling. You did a lot of telling me how much you know I'm not a pussy. You did a whole lot of telling me you know how much I will pull up on your ass and how I am not scared of your friends or you will have to fucking actually kill me. And I'm not scared of your guns because you're not scared of mine. We did a whole lot of that too. And then we came to an understanding. Because I had to have you see exactly where this went wrong. And you wanted to go ahead and forgive and forget and yeah, you know, you my girl and you know I love you, girl. You know, you my sis, black, I love you, bitch, and all this. But behind the scenes, but then you said, well, maybe we'll have a conversation after Christmas and we can go ahead and just let them spin whatever narrative they want. And I'm like, fuck no. Get the fuck out my motherfucking face with that fucking fake motherfucking bullshit. Because what I never did was do anything to you in the first place. You did this. So it's up to you to clean this motherfucking shit up. It's not up to me. It's up to you. Because you did it. Fuck you mean let them spin whatever they want. And this was before I found out that you was over on Rat Mix channel talking about I'm homeless and I live in a tent and all this other bullshit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch? I don't work and all this money I have, I don't have. Like, what? Yes. I will definitely drop the link for her motherfucking ass. Because I really want you to explain that. I want you to explain that. And shout out to Alan for the super chat. I truly appreciate that for the $20 super chat. I want you to explain that. How does that happen? How do you get to fall out like a little 2-year-old because you decided to go live and talk shit, and then we decide to go live and counteract what you said with the actual facts, and then you're mad because the facts make you look bad? I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, and I'm going to keep saying, where did I lie? You even admitted yourself this afternoon. The majority of the reasons why we did not go live is because of you. The majority of the reasons why we did not record and do anything with the podcast is because of you. And you're like, you're right. You're absolutely right. So what do we disagree on? Because that was the problem. So then you told me that Danny called you and that you would call me back. And then I asked you, after I found out about this homelessness that I'm apparently experiencing, right? And my joblessness that I'm experiencing. After I found out what I'm experiencing in life, I text you again and I was like, you told people I live in a hotel? And I gave a whole bunch of laughing emojis. And I said, wow, girl. I said, you definitely need to fix that. And then she said, my bad, I had a call. It's like this, T. If you feel like I hurt you, I am sorry. I'm not perfect, but I'm not the person you and Shakim tried to make me out to be. Also, the failure of the platform is on all of us. We're going to get to that in a second, bro. I just wish you had been honest with Shakim, and I also wish we had never worked with him. I never tried to be malicious, and I never doxed you or even tried to, and still never would. And then she said, however, I just wish things had went a different way. You said I lied about contacts and that I was promising things, when in reality, the 2 interviews didn't happen due to CPS and the issues with your son. And the Shakim kept trolling the situation. Just like you feel hurt, so do I. Then she says, but I never tried to, and where I messed up was not sticking to my gun about him and not having a solid plan. Now, that was probably the best motherfucking thing she said, was the last part, was not having a solid plan. And then I just responded and said, you told the sector I'm homeless and broke, and I'm just cracking the fuck up at that point, okay? And then I said, I didn't deserve none of this, on period. And then she said, I said, if you said I doxed you, then is what April said correct? Because April lied, then why would I dox you? It didn't deserve to be made to be shady. And don't say you didn't make me out to be shady. You literally publicly doxed me, something I have not done publicly or private. She's talking about when I said she's not too far from the Holland Tunnel. I don't know how that's doxing her, but like I said, and I said to her, a red herring. That was today, after all your quote unquote exposing. And then she said, so what was the real issue? We distracted from. I said, you and your live with Star, as if we didn't already have an understanding of things. That was the issue. And then she said, I said in that live, we did speak, and that I was not attacking you. I just wanted to clear up this whole, I did some shady shit when I was transparent from day one. So again, this keeps going back to breaking the culture of silence, feeling like somehow I told the sector that she was being shady. Where did I say that? And every single time I ask her that, she can't answer that. So again, the link is in the chat. We're going to put this shit to rest today. Because you are the one that's saying that I did all this stuff and I made you look bad to the sector. And you can't come up with where I did that. To the level that you've done all this. To the level that you talking shit about me like this. I want you to explain that. Let's go back to a couple of other points you made in these comments, because there was some things you said that were way out of context. You said, however, I just wish things had wait, let's go back a little bit more. You said, I'm sorry, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the person you and Shakim tried to make me out to be. What is the person we tried to make her out to be, Shakim?
Well, I don't know what she thought I was trying to make her out to be, but I did say that it felt scammy. So when I said that, I was talking about both of y'all. And I don't know if she's still talking about that or if she's talking about what I said about her recently. But either way, I didn't try to make her out to be anything. That's just my opinion. So I don't know.
Exactly. And what I feel like we got from, like I said, my reaction to her and Stargate's video, right? My reaction to that was just saying what the facts were, okay? And I just happened to have a person who experienced this with me and have video evidence of everything, okay? I'm talking about down to her knowing about me and Shakim's fallout prior. We talked about this stuff on Zoom. I'm talking like where she's telling y'all she didn't know until after Shakim went live. That's a lie. She been knew about that. These are things that it's like she's trying to make and put all this stuff in this story that never happened. But we happen to have these Zoom meetings that I can release at any given time. Like, that's the crazy part about it. They belong to me. They're on my computer. They belong to me. I can release those videos anytime I want to. And I was going to release those videos on Patreon, but I knew that those videos would corroborate what Shakim was saying because it was true. I had to do soul searching myself. I had to look down inside and say, yeah, I felt burned by this too. I had to be honest with that. I really did. I don't know why this happened. I can't say why Breaking the Culture does not go through with projects that she's supposed to do. But that's what happened. And we are not lying about her talking about Life Jennings and Just So Funny, what's that girl's name? Just So Funny?
That's hilarious.
Just Hilarious, that's her name. Just Hilarious, Life Jennings, Elf Makeup. There was so many fucking businesses and celebrities.
Oh, yeah, Andrew Caldwell.
Because I remember I was excited about the Andrew Caldwell thing because of Shakim's old videos, right?
You are.
We had a whole conversation about this stuff, y'all. And all of this stuff was on Zoom. Like, I don't got to make this shit up. We don't have to make none of this shit up. But again, Breaking the Culture. You are out here trying to swing around everywhere, trying to save your motherfucking quote unquote reputation that you're wrecking. You are out here wrecking your own reputation because we're not talking about you. Literally. You keep bringing shit up and talking about shit and trying to clean up shit and trying to, you got to clean up this and clean. What are you talking about? You're doing that. So every time you go out and tell some lies, you got two people here that can tell the truth. How hard is this to understand? This is basic math. We ain't got to make up nothing on you. Bottom line. You said Also, the failure of the platform is on all of us. I got some big pushback on that. Shakim was not a part of the platform after an extended period of time, after he went live. We did literally 2 episodes after that, maybe 3 after that. That was it. You were still telling me about the FBI coming to help you at your house with the kids, with the whole, situation with Child Protective Services. You were telling me about how all these security guards had to be around the house protecting the children and you and taking them to school because of what Daryl Moore was doing. These were the stories you were telling me. All these over-the-top, crazy stories about Daryl Moore and what he's doing with CPS. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure he's not the only one calling CPS. You were telling me about these things. This is why we weren't going live on a regular basis. This is why we were not recording. You admitted to that. Even today. Most of the time that was spent not recording is because of what you were experiencing with Child Protective Services. That is very understandable. But again, I didn't put that out there. You put that out there with Stargate. And you made it appear like you didn't understand what was going on. You didn't know what was happening. All you know is that these people came to my house and, now I've got strange packages coming to my door and I don't know why CPS is coming to my house. And you're having this conversation with Stargate as if you hadn't already had a private conversation with me. And we had a clear understanding of what was going on, to the level where you even told me, girl, damn, you went live and talked about them packages and stuff. And I cussed AAS the fuck out. Don't you remember that conversation where you said you was drunk during my live and you called AAS up and cussed her the fuck out over them packages and how it was her that doxed you and all that shit? See, let's spill the real tea. Let's spill facts. Because that's what you said. So you knew, and I told you. I said it when you told me that. I said that was Mother Earth talking while you was drunk, telling that bitch that. That was Mother Earth, honey. Because it's facts. You called her and cussed her the fuck out over what I was saying. Because your spirit knew that was true. Because we had already come to that conclusion together. Whether you want to come out here in these YouTube streets and not tell AAS what you really be saying about her is on you. But that's what you said, ma'am. Now, AAS can corroborate whether or not she got a phone call and got cussed the fuck out over that while you were drunk. Since everybody want to know everybody's tea. The platform did not continue because of you. And because you were not putting forth the effort to continue it. For whatever reasons you had in your personal life. It was not because Shakim did something to you. It was not because I did something to you. It was because your life was in chaos at the time. And it was not the right time to be doing a podcast. That is why. But for some reason, you want to be out here trying to make it seem like it was somebody doing something to you. And I have no idea why you're doing that. Because the truth is, You just weren't putting in the effort. And you had given us these grandiose ideas of who was supposed to be sponsoring this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you never came through with what you put out. That is facts. Whether those facts hurt you or not. You ain't got nobody to feel no type of way about but your damn self. Because this is what you promised us, ma'am. And again, nobody had to know about any of this. But you decided to put this out here. You decided to go live with a troll and put this business out here. But what you weren't going to do is lie on me and lie on Shakim. You don't get to just say whatever you want and lie about it. And then I just say, you go ahead, girl. Go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and act like she ain't say that. What? Girl, please. Child, please.
So it's everybody's fault now. Okay.
It's everybody else's fault that the podcast deal that you came to us with didn't go through.
Right.
First, it was Daryl Moore's fault. Then it became Let Me See Your Transcripts fault. It was everybody's fault, but breaking the culture of silence. She's the only one that's not responsible for her own non-existent business. And let's go there. Let's talk about that Instagram that you talked about, right? Because by the way, Secktah, I been knew that Instagram page existed. She told me about that. That was one of the very things that we talked about because Shakim was going to deal with the Instagram page. So that was one of the things we talked about that she said, I already have an Instagram that exists. I'm going to scrub that page and we'll use that since it's already in a position to be monetized. Okay, cool, right? It already had followers. It already had all that stuff. So it was already in a position to be monetized. Okay, cool. So she ended up saying that, Shakim was supposed to take over the whole media brand part of the business. He was going to be working on that. So he was going to be working on the Instagram, all like our website. It was a couple of things that he was going to be working on. Okay. And that just never came through because things just weren't coming to fruition. I'm telling y'all, it was a lot of stuff that just wasn't happening.
Remember, I offered to do the website for free, right?
Yep.
And then
we weren't going to do that because the reason why, I'm going to tell you, now we can talk about that. Yeah. Because Shakim did want to do the website for free. And he told us which site he wanted to use. And Breakin was like, no, we're going to use such and such a site because Danny works on websites. And this is stuff that, she's pretty aware of. So there was some particular site that she wanted to do. So we were like, okay, but she never made the landing page. She never did anything. She just didn't. She would say she's going to do stuff and it just didn't get done. And it'll be like weeks later, you're asking her like, what's up? And she still ain't got it done. And it would always be blamed on what happened with the CPS stuff. And the story just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, she had security staying the night at the house and protecting the kids and all this stuff from Daryl Moore. It was just a bunch of stuff. Just a bunch of stuff.
Like, who is she? Elon Musk's wife or something?
I don't know, man.
Like, is she Gunna's girlfriend?
I'm not making none of this shit up, y'all. Like, I ain't got to make this shit up on this girl. And I'm telling y'all, I wouldn't even be telling y'all this stuff if it wasn't for her. Like, she's the one going live telling y'all that we did her so dirty and we did her so wrong. And we came to New York and just acted like whole niggas out this motherfucker.
Right, like niggas was purposely not paying bills and drunk and high.
Like, what?
Like I was just really on my worst behavior.
I don't know what she's talking about. Like, I was very professional, and so were you. You know,
I was mad
there's some
chill.
stuff that happened. Car did decline.
Yeah, that's my only lack of professionalism that night. But
That
otherwise,
night,
I
right?
know I was calm, cool, and collected because I had some good New York weed, so I was chilling.
Yes, we was out there chilling. And yes, y'all, I was trolling Shakim on the coke. He didn't ask me for no coke, y'all. That was a troll move. That was a troll move, definitely. But yeah, we was, we had a good time out there, and it just was what it was. But ultimately, I don't know. It's just like she just tried to paint this picture to. I don't know to this moment, other than the fact that I really can't help but believe that she just has low self-esteem. Literally, because why are you always looking for the sector to validate you? Why do you care? Why are you combing through Carrie Ann's chat rooms and combing through Nikki's? Where is Nikki at? And is Nikki talking about me today and all this stuff? Like, why are you combing through all this stuff? And the only reason I'm saying combing through is because at first I was saying you're letting people send you screenshots of everything Nikki say or everything you think Nikki's saying. And she's like, no, I'm catching her by myself. I'm catching her in these chats. And I'm like, so that means you there. That means you are beating yourself down to be in a chat room of a person you don't even fuck with. So you can see what somebody you don't fuck with, and you claim you don't care, you don't fuck with. So you can see what they saying about you. That is some low self-esteem bullshit. Real nigga shit. I don't give a fuck who don't like what I'm saying. That's some straight low self-esteem ass motherfucking shit. And anybody that's doing that shit, you really need to take a look in the mirror. Because listen, they talked about Jesus, honey. Okay? They talked about every motherfucking body. Muhammad, not only did they talk about the nigga, they fucking killed that nigga too.
Yes.
Okay? Just to let y'all know. So does it really matter that niggas is talking about you that you don't know, that have no impact on your life? Why do you give a fuck what they say? These are the things that you miss telling the sector I've said to you, breaking the culture. Because those are the things I've been saying to you for months. Every time I turn around, you telling me you feeling all these feelings about something somebody said. And I'm not saying you don't have the right to feel, but there's a limit to that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't go on and on for weeks and days and months. It shouldn't. Shouldn't matter what somebody thinks. Because literally they have no impact on you. None whatsoever. None. It doesn't matter. They could post pictures. They could talk about your kids. They could talk about your other kids. It doesn't matter. What do you think of yourself every day when you look in that motherfucking mirror? Because that's all that actually matters. And if you think low of yourself, that is something you got to fix. That's not for the sector to fucking fix. Because guess what? If you're looking for the sector to fix that, honey, they're going to drag you down into the pits of fucking hell, which is exactly where you headed with this motherfucking bullshit. They're going to make sure you feel inadequate and make sure you feel fucked up because they can latch on to that shit and know that's your weakness and send you all types of screenshots and text messages and this and that to make you think all kinds of motherfucking shit about people. I've been telling you that for the longest time. And those are the tactics of your friends. The AASs and the Rev Gs of the sector. They've been doing this shit for years, honey. Years. Before you even knew what an AAS or a Rev G was. Before you even knew what a Umar sector was. Years. Years. There is a plethora of history of this. You fell for it. And you're still falling for it. They love the chaos, the drama, the fuck shit. And they're going to tell you anything and everything for you to believe that you are some kind of victim. You can keep choosing to take that shit. That's on you. But everybody in the sector literally does not have to entertain that shit. And I want you, like I told you earlier, I want you to go back in your chat from today. I want you to go back into Remix's chat from today. And I want you to look at who was commenting and what they were saying and the energy around it. I told you, it ain't nothing but grown-ass men, trolls, and anti-Afro Svengali and Rev G. Smooth in the mix. Looking for the carnage. Looking for the blood drawing. You got your 5 minutes of fucking fame just to turn around and apologize to me behind the fucking scenes. All in the mix of some motherfucking trolls, some grown-ass degenerate niggas, and anti-Afro Svengali. What the fuck did you accomplish, bitch? Because literally, everything you tried to say and everything you tried to accomplish, it didn't work. And you turned around and apologized. But I'm going to wait for you to apologize publicly. Because then and only then could I actually respect any of that you said today. Because what you did, that was fucked up. And I didn't deserve that. Because like I've said, and like other women have said, and other people are saying, I haven't been out here doing anything to you. I haven't been out here disrespecting you, talking shit, none of that motherfucking shit. I apologize to Shakim based off of my friendship with him. Had nothing to do with you. So again, you need to work on your self-esteem and stop making everything in this world about you, because everything is not about you. It literally is just not. Literally, I even told you earlier, you made the whole me coming at Ray Triggs over what he did with the Slater's daughter. I said, you turned around and made that entire story about you. What did that have to do with you? And you turned around and said, I don't even give a fuck what that had to do with. It's just the point that, and I'm like, what do you mean? How are you going to just throw that whole part of the story out of it to make the situation again about you and your kids and what people said about your kids or haven't said about your kids? Again, everything is not about you, ma'am. And I need you to pull your motherfucking coat, little coat tail up and pull on your britches a little bit and put your big girl panties on and stop running around here like sensitive Samantha. Because it's not everybody's job to validate your feelings around here. It is not. And don't have no understanding with me. And then turn around and go live with some bird bitch and talk shit as if you don't know. We already had an understanding about this shit. That was my problem with you. And I still didn't put all your business out on Front Street and talk shit about you and all that shit. I just spoke facts on what happened really with the podcast. And in me speaking facts on the truth and what really happened with the podcast, you had a whole kindergarten hissy motherfucking fit and lied and disparaged my name just to turn around and say you wrong and my bad. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. We'll go ahead and read some of these comments. What's up, Shakim? You can talk if you want to.
I mean, I would, but I agree. Like, that's exactly what happened. This shit was about Ray kids. It was not about you. But somehow now everybody talking about you. You see how that worked? Like, good job. I might give you a Secktah award tomorrow.
You doing Secktah awards?
Oh yes, like y'all motherfuckers that came out like this is the Academy Award season or something. Like I got to give her an award for this one. I do.
Word. Because this was crazy. Like it was not even necessary at all. Like I said, you were trying to validate everything and make everybody feel, make you valid. And you're right. And it's like, what are you talking about? But none of the stuff you're saying is actually what really happened. So, like you can at least say what really happened, if you want validation for something.
It was just weird that she wanted validation from trolls and strangers and
that part.
People that she wasn't even fucking with 3 months ago. So it was weird, man. Like she definitely deserves some awards for that shit.
That was very, very weird. It's very weird energy. And, it's just ridiculous what all this came to, because you were looking for me, for the chat to validate you. And you even admitted that. You said, yeah, after you went live with Shakim, you said the Secktah believed that I was this dirty, evil person. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would the Secktah believe that? And she said, well, I got a bunch of emails from such and such and all this other shit. And I'm like, I got a bunch of emails too. I got a bunch of people saying, yeah, you got kicked out the void. Yeah, a bunch of shit. Motherfuckers talk shit. I said, I'm not reacting to everything everybody's saying. What are you talking about? And then on top of that, it's not like we didn't talk about that. We talked about that whole thing. We talked about everything. I mentioned all this stuff I'm saying, I said to you. And we came to a full understanding for what I thought about all this. Next thing I know, you on a panel with Stargate, and Stargate is questioning you, and you answering questions like you don't know and you don't understand. Like you didn't just have a conversation with me in a totally different way. I'm like, what the fuck? This is some fuck shit. So I'm going to go ahead and go live and tell my side. And I'm going to tell the truth. And I just happen to have a witness. You said, hey, chat activist. You said, peace to Karma 52. You said, truth conflict strengthens bonds when done from a place of seeking resolution. Great point. Exactly. And that's how it should be, You said, various cultists are watching. You know it. He said, oh, damn. He said, exactly. He said, conflict resolution is good. He said, you beat me, Joe. He said, hey, Keeper. You said, hey to Dr. Nikki, the beautiful Bernice, Karma 52. What you going to do about it? The partners, defrauding Kip, Miss Murph, and Shakim. You said, peace to Keeper. You said, hey, Keeper. You said, this is analysis worthy. Thank you for producing great content, Miss T. Pre. Are y'all saying that's binary? Because I don't know who that is. Uncle Albert. You said the partners. You said LOL, beautiful Bernice. 12-15 account are out of here. You said, I'm with you, Joe. You said she went live with Bird Brain. Nobody care. You said, hey, Keeper. You said, I'm in a closet size apartment. Say something. You know what? You said they think I live with my mother, Josephine. You said, I don't view Black Lounge as a defenseless, passive, weak, quiet person who won't confront any situation head on and speak her mind. Sorry, I just don't. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? I'm doing all this extra behind the scenes, whispering and all that shit. I ain't never been like that. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Like, cut that shit the fuck out. You said, and that's just my opinion. You said, I told my mom I was moving back in. I will be touching the AC. She hung up on me. You said, the beautiful Bernice, we've been seeing how people move in this space for years. Exactly. Like people just know already, you know what I'm saying? Like what be happening and what's going on and how things are going and all this other stuff. You said, this sector is wild, man. Better than any TV out here. That's facts. I smell a rat. What is this? You said she gave you a mic. I didn't hear anything about other equipment. I smell a rat. I heard you're breaking the culture of silence. I actually heard that that's one of your actual things. So I don't know if that's true or not, but this came up at 5:44 p.m. and it's 6:33 now. So if you are live, that's possible. You said, allegedly Tasha K was offering mics to people too. I heard. Breaking the culture of lies. Yes. You said this sector is a real sitcom. We actually could be getting paid for all this BS spurring on the constant. Facts. This really could. That was actually a conversation that Breaking the Culture and I had behind the scenes too, where we talked about, this sector is really a reality show. And we can make it into something really big if we all did it, you know? I don't know, but I think that she wanted to try to keep this motherfucking narrative spinning and see what everybody say and all this bullshit. And girl, ain't nobody doing that. Girl, be real. Keep it a bean. Everybody know who the fuck you dealing with over there at Stargate. You said I'm who? You said a little rat. Bye-bye.
Oh, Stargate gets an award too.
Of
For Best
course.
Supporting Actress.
Best supporting actress. He said keep her a sitcom soap opera. He said, oh hell. He said Blue Moon, great beer. It was a nice place. I had a Henny on the rocks there. In there. It was decent. You said she thinks she's famous and got hands. Meanwhile, she allied putting her hands on a senior citizen. You know what? He said breaking a liar, simple. You said, yeah. You said, I need to put my desk together. You said that's because she's not a real New Yorker. She would have known you can't do that. Exactly. You said it was a cigarette. AMS just had to text me and tell me about that evil Shakim. You know what? That's funny that you say that because I was trying to highlight that when I saw that in the chat earlier because we were talking in context to that. Because AAS actually was the one that was really upset that Breaking the Culture was live with us. And it shows on her text messages to Alan Logic. So shout out to Alan Logic for posting those text messages about what she was saying about Breaking the Culture. She was saying how ridiculous it was, what Breaking the Culture was doing, and how Breaking the Culture was doing this and doing that, and how it was terrible and awful. And she was talking all this crazy shit about Breaking. Right at that time when she was talking about her going live and how she was rubbing all on the nigga. AAS was right about that. She was rubbing all over the nigga. Like, it was what it was. But, hey, shit happens, right? But shout out to Alan for that. I really, really like that you were able to pinpoint that to a very, very important point of what is going on here. He said, LOL, right, Bernice, straight from Ohio. You said this isn't how you told this story before, though. So you're probably late because I actually did say and admitted to trying to cape for the void and trying to protect the brand and protect my name and different things like that and protect her name as well. So perhaps you missed that. But yeah, I did say that. So shout out to you. You said the last time a person touched me dealing with carpal tunnel. He said black folks ain't dealing with no cops. Okay, ain't nobody, especially in a town I'm not from. Like, I know people from New York and shit, but I ain't about to get locked up in New York. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to talk to the police if I don't have to. Why do I gotta talk to the cops if I don't have to talk to the police? You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing that bullshit. Not over no cigarette. Like, come on now, it ain't that serious. He says from the videos, it looked like everyone was having a good time. We were having a great time. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. Everybody was, we were good, but Breaking was very, very fucked up. I ain't even gonna hold you. She was. Even Photon admitted to that at one point. I know he took that video down now. But yeah, he admitted to that. Breaking was, he said he thought it was gonna be me out there fucked up. I don't know why he thought that, but he thought it was gonna be me out there, and it was her. He said that. He said, "You want to know the kicker? Here's the kicker, breaking the culture of silence." Facts. How many receipt shows has this girl been supposed to have put out about Daryl Moore, about Let Me See Your Transcript, and everybody? We've been still waiting on all the receipts for Let Me See Your Transcript. That was like a year ago, right? Shit. He said, "Hey, the eyes." He said, AMS also texted me about a guy with a big D and breaking the culture. Exactly. She put that out there too. She felt some type of way. He said, "Right, I'm out. I'm not going to central booking. The fuck? Okay, ain't nobody getting ready to sit there and have nobody taking me to jail because you want to be breaking the culture of silence and all this weird fucking protest bullshit. Like, what? Like this Black Lives Matter bullshit. Like, what is going on, girl? It ain't that serious." You said, Alan, what the heck are you talking about? You said Breaking taking your ass on the panel. Breaking take your ass on the panel. Right. Okay. Like, hit the link. Want to go live with Stargate? Like, you're not proving anything, sweetheart. You said I always was suspicious of this podcast name from the jump. That's a horror genre title. A shout into the void. Yeah. I never liked the video. She admitted that it wasn't me. I never liked that title. I always thought it was too long. I thought it was corny. You know what I mean? There could have been so many other things we could have called it. And I actually wanted to brainstorm with her on what we would call it. But we never did. We never got to that point. Like I said, ain't nobody making up nothing. She literally just did not follow through with all this stuff. Nobody did anything to her. Even though and I can admit, I do know she was going through some shit with CPS. But I was giving her advice on how that was going because she kept thinking she kept zeroing in on these people, and I'm like, yeah, the people that you're telling all your business to and you're trusting are the very people that are doing this to you. I'm just letting you know. And she just didn't want to believe it. So, yeah, it is what it is. What's up, West Bank? I appreciate you being in the building. Knowledge TV, what's up? You said this is why some people in the sector don't need to meet. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was talking about when I said to LV what I said, because he was right. There are no real friends around here. You know what I'm saying? Unless you actually make those connections offline and you're able to flourish with those connections, beyond some bullshit. And, that has happened with a few people in this sector with me. And that's just what it is, And shout out to our relationships and that we're solid like that. And that people like breaking the culture can't come around and say little stupid shit and throw things out of context. And we just fall out with each other and everybody's just done. Because that's not the case. So, again, I don't know what she thought she was going to accomplish with this. But, baby, it didn't work. Me and Nikki are still cool. We still good. There's no issues with me and her. There's no issues with me and Shakim. There's no issues with me and nobody. But maybe you need to address your issues with Anti-Afro and what she's actually really done to you and what you don't want to admit publicly, but you know what's going on. Don't add me to that shit. You said a drunken tongue tells the truth. That is facts. And according to her, this ain't my words. This is her. She said, I called AAS while I was drunk and I cussed her ass out over them packages and cussed her ass out for doxing me. And I was like, girl, that was nothing but Mother Earth that said that shit. I said, because I had just got done saying that shit on a live. And she was like, yeah. I had heard, she was like, yeah. And I just went off on her. She said, but I didn't mean to go off on her. I was just drunk. I was like, well, a drunk mind speaks a sober motherfucking truth. And that's just it. Because it's facts. You said, how many bought Christmas toys for their babies? Oh, woo. You said, this may be a bad time to ask this. Will there be any new episodes? I don't know. You'll have to ask her because she still actually owns the podcast. She said that she was saying today that she still gave me access to stuff. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not signing in to anything. I don't even know what access I'd have because I'm not paying any attention to anything concerning a shout into the void. I don't know anything about it. I'm not doing anything with it. The only thing I have with it is the logo. That belongs to me. That is my personal logo. I could do what I want with it, and I'm going to change the name on it. Other than that, that's it. But I created the logo, and that's why, she wouldn't be able to, she'd have to rebrand the business, and that's it. But that's her shit. I don't got nothing to do with that. So, nope, there won't be any episodes from me. But according to her, she said she's going to be rebranding a Shout into the Void. So, and I'm actually hoping that she does. I mean, good luck to her. You know what I'm saying? I hope that she does okay. I don't wish no bad on her. But at the end of the day, she got to take responsibility for her own shit. Like, I don't know what part of this she don't understand. You said, I wish I had kids to buy toys for. My sons are grown, okay? You said, drop the link for breaking. I did that. And Keeper's looking. You said, she need to catch the link. Defrauding. You said, in hindsight, do you wish... Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, I got that super chat. You said, in hindsight, do you wish you would have never mentioned the podcast to the Secktah? Yes. Yes. I would have never, ever went live in New York with Breaking the Culture of Silence if I had known that all of this was going to happen. I didn't. I did. I had no idea that it was going to be like this tumultuous. I had no idea that it was going to be this weird, that it was going to be this crazy. No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I do think, though, that Breaking had originally had good intentions. I don't think that she, really had bad intentions. But I think after things started happening to her, she turned on us. And I think that she thought because she's very impulsive. Y'all can see that. Y'all can see for yourself how impulsive she is. She's very impulsive. So instead of her thinking this through and talking with us about this, she just went to AAS and started doxing us and giving out information. I mean, that's how I can honestly, that's the only thing I can think of, y'all. It's really hard to see it any other way. Because honestly, that is what ended up happening to me and Shakim. Not her. Well, her too. But AAS was playing both sides of that. Literally. As crazy as that shit sounds, that shit is fucking factual.
Yeah, I'm giving her an award for best director too, because she the one that planned all of this shit out and put people in certain positions, So good job, AAS. Good
AAS
job.
did a great job at directing this motherfucking one right here. She did an excellent job.
I can't even bullshit her on that. But she is a therapist. It's like those skills she has, she just takes them from work and just comes on this bitch,
She's a Svengali.
It's crazy.
She's a Svengali therapist. She likes to use Svengali tactics to get under people's skin and to get, to get people doing exactly what's happening. This is what she wanted all this time. She never wanted anything to go off with that whole shout into the void thing. And she wanted to do everything she could to roll. You know how the JWs do? You know how they love bomb you?
Mm-hmm.
They roll out the red carpet and make everything look sweet and lovely for you. And I got your back and I have these resources. And they latch on to one thing that you're dealing with, right? Most of the time, most JWs become JWs that are adults. They become JWs because of some trauma that they're experiencing in life.
Suffering. Yeah. Suffering.
Literally.
Yeah.
Somebody died or something happened and they become a JW because of that, right? She does that same shit. She will latch on to whatever you are experiencing at that time. And what she knew about breaking the culture is that breaking the culture had a problem, a difficult, big problem with let me see your transcript. She knew that. And she was already attacking let me see your transcript. This is the part that breaking the culture of silence doesn't know. She doesn't understand. That when Anti-Afro came seeking her out, she sought her out to come attack certain people in this sector. And breaking the culture fell for that. And in the mix of that, she got close to some people and got to know some people, and AAS didn't like that shit. And she became the evil devil that she is. She is the one that was calling Child Protective Services on this woman and blaming Kimberly for it. Blaming Let Me See Your Transcript for it. She was the one that was telling CPS it was Let Me See Your Transcript.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one calling CPS and saying, yeah, my name is Kimberly, and I want to make a report on this person, and this is her address. She was doing that because that's how devious this woman is. She's been doing backhanded shit like that for years. And she latched on to breaking the culture and she ran with it. And breaking
Yeah, we should have known that though, because like AAS doesn't befriend anybody unless it suits her purpose. So
I told her that.
I was trying not to trip about it, but at the same time, I should have just known. Like AS and Rev G are not befriending her unless they can use her. So it's funny, like looking back at it, like I already knew that, but I wasn't really tripping about it.
Word. I'm just saying, like I knew, but all I could do was tell her. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to beat it down her throat and beat it down her neck. But all I could do was tell her. She's either going to go with it or not. She's going to do her own research and look at it, look into it, or not. You said you throw water on some of these niggas, they would. Yeah, hit that link, Breaking the Culture. I don't know if she's still live on her channel or not. You said, what was the first episode about? I don't even remember, man. That's how long ago that shit was. But we talked about like hot topics, and we threw a couple of, little shade, comments and stuff from the sector in there and different things like that about Shakim and the void and all that. It was like little jokes and stuff, but it wasn't much. And then we just did some hot topics that were going on with celebrities and stuff like that. You said she's not gonna come up. Andrea's are afraid of links, okay? Unless it's somebody's link where they're gonna fucking control who says what and all that bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. You said the beautiful Bernice, that part. You said Propane's morning show was wild. It was. That shit was crazy this morning. You said the last time Rat Mix took a bath was in the jail.
Damn, they said that nigga had a bath since he got out of jail. Y'all ain't shit.
Y'all ain't shit. You said I should have got my nails done today. Okay. You said she's obviously a coward that hates the facts. Fits right in with those degenerates she cried to. 100%. Like just stand on your womanhood and stand on your word. If you are being so attacked and mistreated and done so wrong and done so bad, come up here and be a woman about that shit. And say something. Stand 10 toes on what you said to me. Because you know what you said. And then I really want you to prove all this fucking shit about, oh yeah, I'm homeless and all this shit and I'm broke and I ain't got, come on up here and let's say that. Say that to my face. Let's talk about that. But you won't, because you know we're speaking facts. And we only spoke facts after you decided to go live and lie for no reason. Because you want attention from the sector. And that's not my shit. That's your shit. He said, to the salon. He said, uh-oh, the hotel part isn't true. Hell fucking no. I don't live in no goddamn hotel. What the fuck? All right, so I got a whole house and I have a whole nother property as well. Okay, I'm gonna say that. So before I get put out, if I got put out of this one, I do got somewhere else I could go, just to let y'all know. Okay, so no, I don't live in no hotel. I don't know. I don't live in no Motel 6. Okay,
Right.
I
She
don't
is
live in my
not remake.
car.
She is not Poison University. Y'all got her fucked up.
I do not have to grill every day to eat. No, I don't. Okay. I got a whole kitchen. It works. The lights are on. Okay. The fuck?
Right. Like the lights is on. You're not outside every day. You're not under the
Oh
freeway.
my God. Like, it's just like that. It's shit like that. Like, all of that was for what? Because you went live acting like you didn't have an understanding of what was happening. And then we went live and spoke the facts to what actually happened. And now you're mad because you look stupid in this motherfucker. Like, this is your fault, ma'am. I don't know what you want us to say. Like, you the one that told us Life Jennings was coming to save us. What the fuck? Like,
And academics and Adam 22 and Andrew
all these
Caldwell.
people. You was tight with Adam 22 and all these people. You can get in with you and Flacco and
Yeah, like she was trying to tell me to stop beefing with Flacco.
stop beefing with Flacco. Yes.
Like, okay, shit, I might have, you know, Adam, shit, you know what I'm saying? But it was funny because, like, she really thought I cared that much. Like, if I don't like somebody, I just don't like them. But, like, she was like, yeah, man, she had a list of people. I'm trying to think of who else she said.
She said a bunch of people though. Like, it was more than just BuzzFeed and more than just Elf Makeup. It was more than just like, it was even to the point where Elf Makeup was where, because I told her my aunt wears Elf Makeup, right? And she was like, oh, yeah, just tell her I'll send her a package. We'll get a package to her. Give me her address and stuff.
Wow.
I'm telling you, yo.
The cap
I'm
is
telling y'all, like, y'all have no idea. Like, let me go ahead and just put this out there because I told y'all that I had an IT friend who, in the sector, I had sent a email that Breaking the Culture had sent me, right, telling me about this deal that I had to hurry up and answer to. And when you click the link, it takes you to this data collection website. It's like, it's not even a website. It's like it's almost like a PDF, right? So I was supposed to fill out this information. And I'm like, I got this email already like a whole month ahead of time from the other girl who sends these emails out for real. Like, actually, I'll show y'all one day these emails. And but I do still get these emails. I just got one, I think, a couple days ago. I still get these emails where you can go and be extras in movies and stuff like that. Okay. Breaking the Culture is the one that asked me if I wanted to sign up for something like that in my area. So I just let the lady start sending me emails. And this was a while ago. So Breaking sent me a duplicate email. I guess she didn't realize I was actually getting those emails. And she sent me this duplicate email from like a whole month prior, was the same exact things. It was like the same. I'll show y'all one day. I can put this side by side and show y'all it was the same exact instructions, the same exact times for the same exact situation, right? And I'm like, they're not doing that again. This wasn't a duplicate. This was her duplicating what this woman sent me. And she tried to change the font of it. She tried to change, like, there was parts of this email that I had. I can pull up the actual email, and it was one thing. And what she sent me was like, there was parts of it missing. And the one part that was on there was a link to click. And if you click that link, it takes you to a whole nother place. I sent this to a friend of mine who can go behind a VPN and open that shit up. Okay. She went behind her VPN and did that shit. And that's how she knew this was a data collection. She wanted me to rewrite after she knew that my address was not correct with what me and mine was doxing. Okay. After she knew that, and I'm not saying that she sent it to me and mine, she sent it to AAS. Okay. But they knew they had the wrong information because I was like, that ain't even my shit. Okay. That's my aunt's address. One of those is my aunt's address. And that address I gave to somebody directly. You can't get that from the post office. You're not getting that from my credit report or none of that because I never lived there, literally. So she's giving out this clearly it looked like her giving out that address. Okay. But she wanted me to fill out this other thing real quick and make sure I got it back to her in like 2 days. And I was supposed to fill out all this information and give them my address, all this stuff, my date of birth, social. It was a bunch of shit she wanted me to put on there. So if that don't sound like data collection to you, I don't know what to tell you. But what else is that? And this was in October when she sent me this. And I had got that email from Erica back in September. The same email. It was just Breaking had changed it and sent it to me. I could show it to her. Like she could say it didn't happen and all this shit and I'm lying. I could show y'all that shit. But I wasn't out here putting her business out here like that. I wasn't out here, defaming her and telling y'all all this shit. But she want everything to be public. She wanted me to clear things up for her. Okay, let's clear it up. And the clearing up is making you look bad. He says she need to ducks a full-time job. You know what? He said, I may use the podcast title with Joe and my crew. He said, I don't get, you got to ask Breaking because she owns the name.
Well, that depends on if the LLC ever got registered or not.
Yeah, you said she made herself look bad from day one. Yeah, the LLC, where is that? Let's talk about that because that's where I was going with the Instagram thing, right? Because she was telling me behind the scenes that, hey, the Instagram is starting to kick off. This was after Shakim had already went live and we weren't fucking with Shakim. She told me that the Instagram thing was kicking off. Everything was popping with that. She said, so we need to open up an account so that we can, start putting the money in that account, right? And I was like, well, the only way I'm going to do that is if we have that in a business name. I said, I'm not about to open up no personal account with you. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me at all. If we're going to put money from the business and from the podcast into an account, it needs to be in the business name. And she was like, nah, we can open up a business account without the LLC and without the business. And I'm like, where? What planet is that done at? Because I'm not in the US. You ain't doing that shit. And she's like, no, you can do that. I know for a fact because I got this business. And I'm going to tell y'all, the business is called, what's the name of that shit? I forgot what the name of the business is, but it's something within the garden or something like that. She does have this business, right? I don't know what the business does. I've never really looked into it. I don't even know if it's off the ground. I don't know if it has a real LLC. I don't know. I don't know. She could very well, but she's telling me the name of this business and that she has this business and that she opened up an account with that business and stuff, but without, showing the bank that her business. I said, well, you probably said you're a sole proprietor. I mean, I had to break it down for her how this works. I said, but me and you together can't be a sole proprietor because we are two people. I said, so we'd have to even open up an LLC, an S Corp, a Corp. We'd have to do something like that. I said, we can't just go in the bank and be like, yeah, we got all this business money coming from a business and we're opening up a personal account. The IRS will be knocking on both of our motherfucking doors. I said, I work in finance. I've been doing this for 20 plus years. And that's when she finally got quiet and let me talk. And I had to explain that to her. And I knew at that point, I really didn't want to do business with her because I'm like, this is janky as fuck. Like, what the fuck? Like, what I look like doing some shit like that? And I work at a bank. Girl, please. Girl, please. Niggas is not getting ready to be paying fines and going through the IRS and they taking my wages and shit. Girl, I don't play with them at all. I don't play with the I, the R, or the motherfucking S. You hear me? At all. At motherfucking all. Fuck that. Fuck all that. You said she made herself look bad from day one, and she really did. Nobody did that to her but her. That was not me. You said doxing is when you put out a person's personal information with malicious intent. Just like when Rat Mix released my phone number, which he got from AA Mess. Exactly. You said AA Mess need to dox a padded cell. Okay. What's up, conscious energy? Doing it all legal so you can fly like an eagle. You said I can draw up a logo for that today and move forward. No contracts. Okay. You might as well and go ahead and patent that shit, because then she won't be able to use it. Because she ain't got it registered nowhere. I'll let you know that. You said release the videos. We're thinking about it. I'm telling you, she keep going. I might. You said, was the podcast name ever officially taken? She said that it wasn't. She said that we had been the ones with it. I don't know of anybody else that would come up with such a name. So, like, I don't see how anybody else would have that name. I did see things about shouting in the void and stuff like that, but not a shout into the void. I've never heard that. Mm-mm. You said, I'd like to see your vision of that logo at the Friday. Me too. I want to see that too. We got Pepsi cans and all kinds of shit. So let's see, right? You said, Josephine. What's up, Riz Lyricist? You said, spill the motherfucking tea. Oh, Daryl Moore going live, y'all. We about to go over there. I want to be nosy. What's up, Humble King? Salute, Humble King. You said, do y'all still have those connections? What connections? She was telling us that she had these connections with Andrew Caldwell and with Larry Reed and with Elf Makeup and with BuzzFeed and you name a celebrity. Oh, Jennifer Hudson. Yeah, there was so many celebrities she named. I'm telling you, it was crazy. It was crazy. You said I sense T Pre still trying to be reserved. I'm trying, honey. I'm trying. You said keep her. It will be lit. You said peace at chat. You said peace to Humble King. Hey brother. You said keep her. Full disclosure. It may be satanic. It is what it is. Word. It does sound kind of like that. Shouting to the void, right? You said this situation has been suspicious from day one. Well, I agree. You said there are like 6 Instagram accounts for this podcast title. Wow. Well, perhaps she made them. I don't know. I have no idea. You said blame it on the black folks. Why don't you? Right? You said what you gonna do about it? You said reason I don't let anybody in my house. Okay. You said whose house is this? Our house. You said ain't no carnage. Y'all handling this like straight professionals. Proud of y'all. Exactly, because we ain't gotta go in here lying on this bitch and shit. We can kill her with facts. That's it. Like we could kill this bitch with straight facts. And that's what's killing the bitch. Is that we putting out facts. Hey babe, you need to fix that in the mirror. That's not my shit. He said humble, exactly. He said it's Ray Kids. Oh yeah, we're gonna call it Ray Kids. He said, T Pre leaving ammo in the chamber. This was a sanctified, nice reading. Okay. We doing this sanctified and holy. Okay. We're not doing it today. Shout out to Dr. Nikki Proctor Walden. I appreciate that, sis. I didn't see that super chat in there for the $10 super chat. You said, what did I have to do with this shit? Not a motherfucking thing. And that's the crazy part about it. Not a goddamn thing. She just, again, tried to throw whatever she could out there to make that shit stick with the sector instead of the sector, just not trying to look for validation from every motherfucking body. It's just fucking crazy. But shout out to you. I appreciate that super chat, sis. Yes, and I'm leaving that shit up in there. You said, hey, Mom in the Castle. You said, hey, T Pre, Rod, listening some while out splurging on Christmas gifts. That's what's happening. And Clark, what's happening, sis? I appreciate you being in the building. You said, hello, everyone. Yes. I don't even want to go and keep talking about this shit. I'm telling you, it is so exhausting to do this. It's ridiculous. Hey, Glow, you said, sorry, I'm late to the party. Hey, Miss T Pre in chat. No problem, sis. You said, hey to Clark. And you said, this woman created chaos and likes to stay in chaos. That's clear, right? That's crazy. She created this whole situation And now, she trying to make this more and make it bigger. And like, you can't deny what actually really happened. And then on top of that, you're going to even say yourself that's what happened. So what's the problem? Like, why are you so upset with me? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, stop. You're mad because the facts are the facts, and you decided to go live with a bird bitch and talk about some shit that wasn't the sector's business. And you made it the sector's business. But you're not gonna lie on me and Shakim. No, we're gonna speak the facts on you. You mad? You should tell the truth. You said, hey, Clark, you said we need a donkey of the day show. That's what the fuck we need right there. That's what the fuck Shakim should do. Fuck the sector awards. Let's do some donkey of the days out this bitch. She need donkey of the year for this motherfucking shit right here. Because again, she created this entire situation. Nobody did this but her. I know I'm pretty far behind in the chat, y'all. I just want to try to give everybody a chance to say what they're saying. He said hi to everyone who spoke to me. He said Glow, DC, and Kip. He said hey to Glow. You said hey to Glow. You said Mama the Castle. You said hey Mama the Castle, happy anniversary. Yes, happy anniversary to you and also Corey Slater. Happy anniversary to y'all. You said hey to Karma Joe and Humble King and Karma 52. You said thank you. You said it is binary. Okay. That Uncle Albert person. Mm-hmm. You said Riz Lyricist. You said I'm listening to South Soul Orchestra. Merry Christmas. It's funny because I don't even watch these motherfuckers. Like real shit, I don't watch them. I can't even find Binary's channel if I wanted to. Okay. So I don't know why these people keep tuning in to my show. But I appreciate the views because, like I said, right now it's monetized. I'm sure those of you that don't have YouTube premium are getting ads during this show because it is currently monetized. I could talk about motherfuckers and get paid while I'm doing it. Okay. Yes. It's called residual income. Yes.
Yeah. Y'all know nothing about that.
Right. So, y'all looking at the ads and all that shit and skipping over so you can keep watching the show. And shout out to all 78 people in the clouds. You said, I'm listening to South Soul Orchestra. Merry Christmas. I love this song. You say, hey, moms, happy anniversary to you. You said, fuck you, binary. Shout out to you for the super chat, Dr. Nikki. You said, glow, Nick. You said, Dr. Nikki Clark, Mama the Castle. You said, Dr. Nikki Josephine. You said, Keeper 116. You said, Josephine and Glow, greetings, Mama the Castle. Hey, Clark. Hey, the partners. You said, after all this, all I know is that if someone is offering mics, I'll take a Shure SM7B, please. Okay? And let me go get that microphone real quick. Shakim, I'm going to give you a chance to just talk to the sector real quick. Let me go grab that shit. I can tell y'all what the fuck she gave me.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing either a sector awards, like an Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actress, Best Director, Best Film Producer. I definitely got to get that to drama for them iMovie edits. So yeah, I'm brainstorming right now, but I will be back either with a sector awards or a donkey of the day, and I might just drop that every morning. So yeah, we'll see.
So when she gave me this microphone, right, it's called Zeal Sound. So I'm going to spell that for y'all so y'all know what the fuck this is. Okay. Y'all can look that up yourself and see what this is. This is a very cheap microphone. It's not expensive at all. I actually have a couple mics myself that are actually pretty good. I have a lot of equipment. I have mics and cameras and different camera for different angles. I have a tripod. I have all kinds of stuff and equipment for a podcast and for, to actually follow and do an actual full podcast. I already have those things. She's aware of that. She was aware of that, but she was insisting on giving me this microphone. In her giving me this microphone, this is another very weird thing, okay? She gave me the mic itself, and she gave me the stand for the mic And you know how that little thing that covers the microphone where you can speak into it, so it, you know, it kind of buffers the sound. All of that was included, right, in the box, except the wiring. Okay, so there was no wiring that I've ever received for this microphone. She told me that I ended up leaving the wiring there and that she wanted to mail it to me. I said, okay. I gave her then that aunt's address. That's how she got that address. Guess what, guys? You want to take a wild guess what happened? I never got that wiring anytime, anywhere in my aunt's mail. Never got it. By the way, that's not my aunt's house. That's an Airbnb that she owns. So it's not really her place. So y'all can try to dox her if y'all want to, but she don't live there. But anyway, yeah. So I never got anything there at that address at all. I never got anything that Breaking the Culture ever promised to send. She did ask me about this rope class, which is, y'all know about the swinging and stuff, so I don't have to pretend with that. She asked me if I would be part of this rope class and if I would do this class with this white girl that she does classes with. And I said, sure, I'll do it. You know, that shit don't scare me. I'm sure, you know, we can talk about it. It's just a class, right? She was supposed to send the stuff for the class, which was a rope kit, to that address as well. Never got that at that address, y'all. Never got anything at that address. Guess what I did get to that address? I did end up getting some paperwork from that courthouse. And what it was the court saying, we don't have anything concerning you in this case. We don't know what you're, basically, it was like, we don't know what you're talking about. So we're sending you back this paperwork, you know, because we can't even add it to this case. Y'all hear what the fuck I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to help y'all put this picture together that I never put out about Breaking the Culture of Silence. Okay. After getting that address from me, suddenly paperwork for the Catherine Brown case shows up at my aunt's Airbnb. And in that paperwork, the court was like sending back some letter that a person named S. Othello, I can't remember the name. I'll have to dig up the paperwork, but the person came and this is why I told y'all I was going to continue. It would be to be continued with that story. But that person had sent a letter to the courts and had told the court, you know, was trying to pretty much break down the same goddamn story and tell the same story that, you know, they were telling, you know, that Catherine Brown was telling. And they were somehow trying to link that address so that the courts can add that to the PACER paperwork. But they ended up sending it back because they were like basically saying, like, who the hell are you? Like, what are you talking about? And then they sent that paperwork to that address. And I was trying to see if I can find a return address, like where they sent it from. Because they couldn't have sent it from my aunt's Airbnb. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to figure out where they sent it from. But they had to, I guess they sent it from a post office or something. But the court never put that information on PACER because I wasn't connected. And there was no connection between whoever this person was and the court. But that's how creepy shit got with this situation. And that also gave me belief that this girl, after ghosting the podcast as much as she was doxing me behind the scenes to AAS. Why else? AAS wanted me to answer that motherfucking court case so fucking bad. She was asking me to answer it more than Catherine Brown. AAS was on that shit. This is why it looks like Breaking the Culture was doxing me or attempting to. And then when that didn't work, next thing you know, me and mine is showing that address on her channel. So how would y'all take that? What would y'all think? I'm listening, Shakim.
No, continue, because I had the same experience with that Flacco lawsuit. So,
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about that. So go ahead and get into that because we're not going to be too much longer.
Okay. Yeah. One day, I saw somebody go live. I forgot to do it now. I think his name was King Haiti 1804. He went live like Shakim Rod suing Flacco for fraud and defamation and for calling the FBI. And I'm like, nigga, what? So I went and looked the lawsuit up, and there was a lawsuit filed, but it was filed not under my real name. It was filed under Shakim Ra, as if Shakim Ra is a real person. And they're suing Minyango Tokpa. And I'm just laughing my ass off. Like, it was right, like, I want to say 30 days. Within 30 days of me signing that contract and giving her my address, somebody then filed a lawsuit against Flacco. So, what a coincidence, What
Right.
a coincidence. That's all I can say.
Like there was a lot of like coinky dinks that were not adding up as well. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot of stuff. And these are things I did bring up to her. I was telling her even then, I was telling her like, there's a lot of stuff that you said you want to send and you're not sending. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm not getting this shit. I said, I never got the mic cords. I never got any of that shit. I got the microphone sitting right here. Never got the mic cords for that. Never got anything about that. I don't need the mic cords because it's really not that important, but it's just the point of why were you telling me you want to send stuff to me? And every time you say you want to send something, I end up getting something like that happens instead of actually getting what you're telling me you're sending. And then like it makes you look worse because again, look at the big picture. At the end of the day, you are the only one around here breaking your neck to cape for AAS. Literally. I'm not talking about the photons and them. That nigga be trolling. I'm talking about you are literally breaking your fucking neck to break your neck and say how anti is so innocent of everything. You try to do this shit in public. In private, you say something different. But in public, you say, how innocent she is and how she treated you so well and treated you so nice and all this shit. And she's so great. And everybody knows how treacherous this woman is. Everybody. And you know too. So I don't get it.
Yeah, that Flacco shit left a bad taste in my mouth because I was just like, who would do some shit like that? Except AAS. Like,
right.
Who would do some crazy shit like that? Like, and then they used the specific address that I gave her. I don't know what other addresses she had for me, but I've been in the same house for 3 years. So if you really wanted my address, you really shouldn't have had to ask me because there's not a bunch of addresses for me. So that shit never sat right with me, but it's all good.
Defrauded says, just got off the phone with Jess Hilarious. She's pulling out. This is bad for PR. No, but that's facts though, because like I said, it just looks like from how it looks, breaking the culture is beefing and going after everybody that anti-Afro Svengali hates. Literally. From D. Durrell to Nikki to Carrie, now to me. And like I said a couple weeks ago, you just look like you reaching for something to be beefing with me about. Like, if you want to beef, go ahead. But don't act like I'm doing something to you. Your beef is one-sided. Because I'm not doing shit to you. But you want to beef with me because AAS wants you to beef with me. Like, that's why. Let's just be real about your shit. Say you here for that. And yes, it really do seem like she over here collecting people information and getting close to people to get information to give back to this demon. All while the demon is stabbing her in the back at the same time. You got anything else you want to say, bro? Because I'm about to end this show. You said, but when you leave, I will be talking soon. You know what? You said, just got off the phone. Okay, I put that one up already. You said, I love you, Nikki. I don't know who that is, but I hope it's not who I think it is. You said, hey, Glow Glow. You said, defrauding charlatans, what you going to do about it? You said, how about you, Dr. Nikki? You said, how are you, Dr. Nikki? You said, hey, Clark. You said, Karma 52. Y'all might want to block this person because I think that's remix. If y'all haven't already. Because he ain't going to come in here and do that bullshit. You said, ain't a cape big enough. That's why it's called a void. Okay. Word. You said, Glow Glow, I got to catch up. Yeah. You said, April is jealous of breaking the culture because grown man tried to holler at her. Oh, shit. Well, I do know, and I'll give breaking the culture this. I have to hand her that one. I do know that she really don't fuck with Mia Mines because of the fuck shit that Mia Mines be doing, you know, with the whole posting people dead relatives and, you know, and calling child protective services on people and stuff. But the hypocrisy of all of that, and this is what breaking the culture don't understand, is you can't be mad at April and you're not mad at, you're not mad at, you know, like anti-Afro because they are one and the same. They do the same shit. They literally work together to do this shit. So if you're going to be mad at April, you got to be mad at AAS. You know what I mean? Like, which one is it? Because they both working against you. You said, me too, Clark. You said, DC. You said, shout to the dick. AAS. Shout out into the dick. You said, the beautiful Bernice. No, LOL. You said, she's been dealing with CPS damn near most of her life. That's a motherfucking shame, too, yo. That is fucking facts. That is a goddamn shame, yo. It really is. And you know what? Nobody had to know that except for, you know, she put it out there. She was the one that put that shit out there. I was not going to tell y'all that story because it wasn't my story to tell. It wasn't. It's her story to tell. And she kept saying she was going to tell the story. And AAS all in the background saying, it's Kimberly. It's Kimberly. Yes, it's Kimberly Chandler. It's her. You know, guys, it's her. It's let me see your transcript. It's let me see your transcript. I know. I have the paperwork. I know. And I'm like, that's because you're calling. That's because you are calling.
Just
and
like
trying
she
to
called
make
on
it like
Corey.
she literally was using let me see your transcript as a weapon against breaking the culture for two reasons. Number one, she was mad that breaking the culture was doing her own thing with us. And number two, it was a way at using a let me see your transcript as a weapon and keeping those two women going back and forth. This is the fuck shit AAS be doing.
Just like she did to Corey.
Just like she did to Corey.
Out of nowhere.
Now we know that, yeah, she was talking about that breaking the culture, was talking about that shit with them. And agreeing at how fucked up that was. Well, she did the same shit to you, sis. And I've been telling you that for months. Months. Because this is where AAS lives. She lives on this fucking internet. Everything is about this space. This is her whole life. She's literally working from home. She's been working from home since COVID.
I'm not dropping
at her job.
1,000 videos. I'm not dropping 1,000 videos on none of y'all niggas. Like, I don't got time, nigga.
And that was before that channel got taken down.
Facts.
It was like 1,200 videos of Umar Johnson on her channel. 1,200 videos. I want every content creator who is a content creator to fathom that many videos on one person.
On one person. Like,
even Lennon Honor doesn't have that many videos. He got a bot. He got a lot. He's up there, though. He up there. But at least he getting paid for this shit. At least none of this monetized. At least he's getting paid to do this. She sat in a quiet, dark space doing this for years. Years. And COVID probably didn't help. It probably isolated her even more. She's literally been working from home since then. So I told y'all it was the wrong Andrea, though. You did. You did. I admitted that the other night to you. You said, Glow Glow, I've been watching a channel you might like. It's called R&B Money with Tank and Jay Valentine. I am binge watching, LOL. He says, salute T-Pre and chat. Thank you, Antonio. I appreciate you being in the building, too. Shout out to you. You said, salute Antonio, a.k.a. Big A. Sounds cool. I can go look up, right? You said, AB. Peace to AB. You said, Miss T-Pre, nothing beats a try, and you all tried. Yeah, for sure. You know, but I think that, you know, unfortunately, it was a lot of stuff that she offered that she couldn't provide. And, you know, it is what it is. And the lesson should be, you know, just stick with your means, stick within your means, whatever it is that you're doing. Everything ain't got to be glitz and glam, you know?
And start small. Like,
definitely
everything starts on a quantum level. So you don't got to start with a bunch of sponsors. Like, I'm on my 80th episode. So do
one
whatever
of the things I learned when I became a content creator with YouTube, right? I really did think that I had to spend all this money on different softwares and different things to like make this thing really happen. And one of the things I learned throughout this process, right? I've probably gotten more views on some of the videos I don't edit, on the videos that I just pour straight out, the live streams. That's where I get the most views and the most interactions. That's where I get the most people that are coming in and you know, and doing their thing. I have my little screens and little stuff that I got for y'all that I've just had for a long time. It's the branding of the show, you know, branding of the channel. But I've learned how to downsize on a lot of stuff and not make everything all big and glitzy and glammy, because it's not that serious. You grow organically with your channel, and you grow organically with your audience, you know? And you don't have to have everything all big and great and grandiose. It's not that serious. People are going to fuck with you regardless of what you do. Like, even if you do some fuck shit, you know what I'm saying? Or even if you do something wrong, if you can stand on that and admit that and move on from there, you know, that speaks volumes about you. But be yourself out here, you know? You ain't got to be out here doing all this extra shit. And then you ain't got to be looking for no validation from nobody, because nobody owes you that. Literally. Nobody owes you the validation you're looking for. Only you can validate yourself. Even God is not going to validate you. God is not going to make you feel like, you know, everything is perfect. He's not going to do that.
Hell no. Especially not once you're on the higher levels. Like, nah. It's real or it's not. Like,
it's either it is what it is. And you sometimes you got, like I said, you got to put on that cloak of armor. And you got to just take what people say and do and just move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Today was a crazy fucking day. If I was a shallow bitch and a crumbling bitch, I would hide my tail and never see this fucking sector again. Literally. But for what? I don't have nothing to hide. I spoke my piece to my peoples. I talked to all my peoples behind the scenes. I even talked to this bitch behind the scenes. And I'm not mad at her either. I want to make that clear. I'm not even mad at breaking the culture. I'm mad at how it played out. I think she should have been a woman about this shit. I think she should have stood on her own shit and just accept responsibility for her shit. I think that she should have learned how to speak to people if there's an issue that she's feeling. She needs to learn how to communicate better. If you feel like there's an issue, you could have said something to me. You did. That's the funny part about it. And we talked about it. But be honest about that part of it. Why would you go live and pretend there was no resolution between us over that whole situation? and then go with Stargate and act like you don't know what's going on and why is this happening and all this stuff and all these things happened to me and these people came and like, what? Girl, we can destroy that bullshit with the truth. And if the truth fucking hurts, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But the truth ain't always going to be the fuck easy. Nobody ever said that. But what you wasn't going to do is paint this narrative that you were being attacked by us and we did something to you, because we can really tell the facts about what really happened, including with this Zeal Sound microphone, and that I never got anything for. The paperwork that came, that the court sent back telling me they don't know what the fuck this y'all talking about. All of that stuff happened. The Me and Mine's posting that on her page. All of those things happening is not coincidence. And the fact that Shakim also went through very similar experiences. It's not coinkydink. What is it? But not one time did I out that to the sector. I never put that information out there until tonight. Because we have to put the facts out when you put out lies. So like I said yesterday, I had no intentions of talking about this no more. But if you want to lie, then we can put out the truth. He said, Black Lounge, you should only do podcasts with people you know well and who know you well. I feel like it keeps small things from causing big problems when you start from an understanding. Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. And I also think, like Shakim is saying, start off, small. It don't have to be this big old grandiose taking photos and photo shoots and all that stuff. Why the fuck y'all think we thought we was going for a photo shoot? For what? Just for a photo shoot? Like, this was because this podcast was supposed to be this grandiose, great, big thing. That is why. It wasn't just a photo shoot for nothing. This is what she told us. We don't have no control over what she told us.
Remix is streaming your live. Wow. I guess you got nothing better to do, huh?
Well, I'm going to tell you now, I will strike his channel because this is a monetized show. So let me do that real quick if he's doing that. Hold on one second. You can go ahead and talk, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's streaming this show because somebody said he's streaming live right now, talking shit about y'all in the chat. I'm like, damn, Poison University got a lot of time on his hands. The nigga already went live this morning. So, goddamn, nigga, I thought you was working. 10-hour shifts, nigga, but you've been live since 9 a.m. So, which one is it? Which one is it? You got to pick one. Let me see. But yeah, y'all. I'm getting ready to go get my food. I can't wait. I'm starving.
Put a link to it in the private chat because I don't see it.
Okay.
Thank you, Alan Logic, for the $20 super chat. You said y'all making me happy. This is how you handle deceit. Exactly. That's facts. You said, I hope the next podcast, and thank you. I appreciate that super chat. I didn't see that at first. I apologize. You said, I hope the next podcast goes off without a hitch because you have the gift of gab tea pre. Thank you. Thank you, the partners. He said, Black Lounge Divine. Thank you. I actually am working on that, and I'm doing a lot of things now. I'm just trying to I just want to get past this bullshit here. This shit is stupid. You said, I joined Antonio in sending you and Corey a happy and beautiful anniversary. May you both enjoy many, many more. And you said, Clark, this stuff has been going on far too long. Yes, it has. You said, too bad you couldn't have hooked up with someone you already know. Okay, yeah, that's true. You said, stopping through, hit that like. Shout out to the Slater Show. I appreciate that. You said, thank you, Karma. You said, what's up to the Slater Show? Everybody's saying hey to him. Still standard. You said, the Slater Show, happy anniversary. Salute to Corey, happy anniversary. You said, you're welcome, Mom of the Castle. Happy anniversary to Corey and Marie. Salute, Corey.
Yeah, check the private chat.
Okay. All right, hold on 1 second, y'all.
We got Antonio with the run-on sentences. I might give that nigga an award for best grabber. That's funny. Yeah, I don't know who Dick Perry is.
Okay. I didn't see any parts of my video actually playing on the channel. So I don't really care. As long as he wasn't playing the actual video itself, it doesn't matter. He can talk all the shit he wants. I ain't going to sit there and listen to that. But I just wanted to make sure he wasn't actually playing my video. Because that he will get struck for that. Faux show. Because this is monetized, sweetheart. No. You don't get to replay monetized content on your channel. That doesn't happen. YouTube will actually let me know in the studio that you're doing it. So anyway, I'm ready to end this show. Let me go ahead and look at the rest of these comments here. Okay, I did read that already. You said there can't be an LLC in real life. There are like 5 other accounts with that name. That's crazy. You said no. You said T-Pre, Merry Christmas. Check your Cash App. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I will. Oh yeah, I do see that. Shout out to y'all for the Cash App. I appreciate that. Marie Slater and Corey Slater. I appreciate you guys for that. Shout out to y'all for the Cash App and all the super chats that I received tonight as well. I truly appreciate that. You said that's right. Just watch Pocket Watching JT. IRS audit waiting to happen. Okay, opening up a business account. Where the fuck they doing that at? On Pluto? Like, what? Girl, ain't no bank in the U.S. Gary to open up no business account for you, and you ain't got no business. Get the fuck out of here. Not for 2 people. What? You said this dispute is about who came up with that name first, since others have that name. I know. Well, I don't know. It ain't me, so I ain't in that shit. Yes, Jennifer Hudson. Am I lying, Shakim?
No, she definitely brought up Jennifer, y'all. Swear to God.
Yes, sir. She brought up some like major celebrity names. Major ones. I'd have to pull up the videos and stuff for us to like even pull out everybody, but yeah, she brought up major celebrity names. These facts, Clark Pocket has a great one. I do love that show, Pocket Watching with JT. You said Glow, he is a no joke, though he is funny. Yep. He be real though. You said boy Warren Buffett was sponsoring the podcast. You know what? We had Trump sponsoring the podcast. We had everybody sponsoring. We had Apple products sponsoring the podcast. I ain't even going to say that because I can't guarantee that she actually said that. But there was a technology company that she mentioned. I can't remember who it is now. You said he sure isn't Clark. You caught the shows on the PPP loans, okay? You said, yeah, he was really talking about them PPP loans for sure. And he was talking about Umar Johnson too. Pocket Watching with JT. That's what got me into him, is when he was talking about Umar Johnson and his shit. He said, ain't no way he would miss the opportunity to invest. Okay, Warren Buffett. Not for breaking the culture of silence, you know. You said glow glow, yes, and the young rap artist who got caught with the IRS. Pretty wild. Okay, like does she know? Ain't nobody going to jail over no IRS shit. You said Keeper 116, Warren Buffett wanted to get at the black dollar, shoot every star known to black people was sponsoring a podcast with one episode. You said that must have been one hell of a fucking episode. You said, what the hell? Zeal Sound. Yeah, that's the name of this microphone. Martin Lawrence was trying to get into HBO. You said Audio Techna AT2, Shure SM7B, anything by Samsung or the Yeti. I like them Yeti microphones, man. Shit, y'all can send me one of them too. Are the best podcast mics. I never even heard of Zeal Sound. Must be an Amazon brand. Exactly. Like, I'm like, girl, I have better mics than that. I even have a better mic on my laptop than I have on this right here. I wouldn't use that shit. But you want to give me a mic? Okay, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, thanks. It wasn't a gift. She gave me some elf makeups too, and some other stuff. I don't wear makeup, so it didn't even I don't use it. You said Will Smith smacked the man at the Oscars because he wanted his money back. You said, or maybe it's a brand for music and I'm not familiar. No, this isn't a music mic at all. This is just a regular mic you would have at the Kingdom Hall. Like
Oh yeah, one of them
one of
low
them, I'll
frequency
pass
heavy
this
mics.
around the room microphone type. Like I would give this to like my child. If you know what I mean? Like I would give this to a little kid and they could play with it. I wouldn't even give this to them to do like anything, no recording or anything. This would be something you could play with. You want to. But it's not a microphone for real. I know microphones. And that ain't it. Like I said, y'all are welcome to send a bitch a Yeti if you want to. You said, yeah, I don't want that mic. Okay. You said Chris Rock continues to promote it to this very day, laughing my ass off. You said, I've been looking at the Shure SM7, but I'm no professional, partners. You said, Zeal and Blue Yeti are ideal for podcasts, especially with them being condenser mics. Exactly. Exactly. You said this should be called the best narrative spin sector. Award goes to, okay. Keep it 116. It's really good. Road has a good one too. While I'm thinking about it, I have the Audio Technica, but I really want that Shure. I got to look into the Shure one, but I know those Yeti mics are, yeah, they're worth it. You said, why is she mailing things to your aunts when you have two properties? She don't know that property address. That's why. I would never tell anybody my real address where my kids lay their heads. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not doing that shit. Get the fuck out of here. I know basic safety. I'm never going to do that. So yeah, that's why I gave her an address that many people in the family give out so that, if we don't want somebody to have our real address, they can send it there. It's an Airbnb. You said Zeal is a good brand then. Okay. I had never heard of that one, but Yeti is real good. Okay. Okay. You said, I feel you. I just purchased a cheap mic. I'll suffice for now as I don't go live often. Right. You said, Marie's much appreciated. And you said, Riz Lyricist, thanks for clarifying that Zeal sound. I had never heard of it, but now I'm a look into it. You said, wow, I was right the entire time. You said, for cheap mic with great sound, Samsung Q2 is good. You said like $40, but not great quality. Okay. Yeah, this mic is pretty cheap, guys. It's like not even, it's this mic is very cheap. It's like a goldish, brass colored, black. I mean, it's cute. It's really small too. It's not much something. It's really tiny. So it isn't. It's not for podcasting. I can tell you that for sure. It's definitely not for that. You said I look at it. You said I'll look at it. Thanks. You said they sent the mail and used your address as the return address. Yes, that's exactly what they did. They sent the mail to the court, and they used my aunt's Airbnb as the return address. So yes. You said, damn, this rabbit hole goes deep in the sector. It really does. But we ain't got no reason to make this shit up. This shit really happened. Like, I got the paperwork and everything. I'll show y'all one day. You said, what? You said, oh no, that's some BS. All bad signs. You said, so she was a double agent the whole time. She's turning over into AFWs. I'm right. You can't trust nobody in the sector. That's always rule number one. You said the same name comes up in every bit of fuckery I see in the sector, yet the name remains. I don't understand. Okay. I'll be saying the same shit. You said that was her job to create chaos, continue to create chaos. Kind of pathetic. And she's still doing it. Now she got a partner, her and Stargate. He said, but partners, this is just a simulation within a simulation. Everything you witness offline is exaggerated online. No such thing as beef, especially online, just adverse interactions online. That's facts. You said that's incentivized. You said, I block them. Okay. You said social media platforms were created for this purpose outside of the benefits that comes from the advent of technology. You said, I keep my circle small like this. Okay. Like that period right there. Facts. You said, I got a big toe and keep her circle. Okay. You said, put your right foot in and shake it all about. You said, you think it's bad with our particular ethnicity on YouTube in this topic of discussion. Block you should other ethnicities on Twitter and how they regard what you call black people and how they express it. He said, remix is streaming your live. Well, he must have shut that off because he's not on there now. I didn't see it. If I catch it on there, though, then yeah. YouTube will let me know in the studio, and then I can just strike that shit right through the studio. He said, yeah, Antonio, I'm hip to the game, bro. Just commenting on this microcosm of the bigger issue in society, champ. He said, it's definitely been turned up to the upteenth degree since Elon Musk took over. Okay. You said rap mix streaming your live. Thank you for the super chat, Joe. I appreciate that. You said Elon Musk got tricks up the sleeve for you Twitters. Twitter is a dystopian nightmare. He said the partners, he said, I can't remember my Twitter password. Haven't been on in 5 years. I got a Twitter for Black Lounge. Y'all can go ahead and get on that if y'all want to. Every so often I do go back and check that out. Trying to get through these chats because listen, guys, I've got Corey Slater is actually live. So I want you guys to go over there and switch over to their show because they are actually live. There is a way where I can switch y'all over there, but I don't know how to do it. I know it could be done though, where I can actually transfer y'all to his live stream, but I think he has to give me something and then I could do it. But either way, y'all go ahead and go over to Corey Slater's show because I'm going to go over there and check them out because I'm just really tired of talking about this at this point. Like I said, I really think we've said enough. I still got a couple, things in the chamber. I mean, but she can keep on lying and I will just have to show y'all what really, really happened on those videos. Like, if that's what she want to do, she got a copy of them too. So she can show them. You can splice them if you want to, but baby, I got the full videos. I got our videos between us and I have our videos between us and Shakim. So I don't know what else to tell you, baby. But any final words, Shakim, or anything?
No, great show, great presentation, and I'm definitely looking forward to this later show. So I'm about to get on over there myself. Peace, y'all.
All right, Shakim, I appreciate you being in the show. And shout out to my bro for being in the building. Guys, we have definitely worked out any issue that we had. We don't have no issues no more. Shout out to Dr. Nikki Proctor Walden. Me and her are good. There are no problems with us. There's no problems with me and the women in the sector or any of that. Anybody that's beefing with me, they beefing one-sided. And that's just that, like I said. And niggas need to just learn how to take responsibility for their own shit. I ain't got no problem. I ain't got no problem with nobody. I ain't got no issue. But baby, you just need to take responsibility for your own shit. And that's just that. That's not my responsibility. And I don't know what else to tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure that you guys go over to the Slater Show and check them out. Really appreciate everybody for coming in the building. And I will see you guys next time. Peace, guys.